Mr. Scheer for 5 minutes.
Thanks very much. I have a few very brief questions. They should be yes or no, so just out of respect for my time, if the Minister just keep his answers short. Minister, do you have confidence in the Parliamentary Budget Officer?
Oui, je confiance.
Yeah. So do you believe in his economic and fiscal report, like in the facts he finds?
Sur les changements climatiques, dans ses rapports, notamment celui...
Change, especially when it comes to price and pollution, he specified that he didn't take into account the impact of climate change in his analysis. So I don't share his analysis.
On the cost of the carbon tax.
Effectivement, je ne suis pas en accord avec lui.
Actually, no, I don't agree with him. It's the first time. He agreed that he does not take into account the impact of climate change.
On page 3 of the Parliamentary Budget Officer's findings, he states that in 2023-2024, the average family in Alberta will pay $2,466 in total costs when you factor in the direct and all of the secondary effects in the economy. It will cost the average family in Alberta $2,466. Can you tell me what the rebate will be in Alberta?
Évidemment, je suis le ministre de l'Environnement.
I'm the Minister of the Environment and Climate Change. I'm not the PBO. If you have questions for the PBO, you could certainly put them to him. I have figures on the Environment Canada website. You asked me. On the Environment Canada website, you will find information. The average cost per household is $1,056. Inaudible.
Donc, sur le site d'Environnement et Changement climatique Canada,
on the Environment website, you'll find a table we could share with the committee, of course. I'm sorry, it's the Department of Finance that did this. So the average cost of carbon, $1,760.
Secondary costs. You're not talking about the total cost of the carbon tax. The total cost of the carbon tax in Alberta is going to be $2,466. You just said the rebate was $1,700. I think you said $56. Which number is bigger, 2,466 or 1,756?
The largest one is the cost of climate change in Canada, $2 billion.
To pretend that the rebate covers the total costs of the carbon tax. And the Parliamentary Budget Officer has concluded, after studying all the impacts, the direct costs, but also the secondary costs, as producers and shippers and retailers have to raise their prices, that costs families. I'll move on to Ontario. Ontario, it will cost the average working family in Ontario $1,363. Can you tell me what the rebate will be for a family in Ontario?
Le directeur parlementaire du budget, dans cette analyse-là,
the PBO said that he did not take into account the impact of climate change that we all pay for.
Ontario.
Je vais partager l'information avec le...
I'll share the information from the Department of Finance with this committee. That is a public website.
We're waving around these cards in the House just a couple of days ago. You were carrying them around, and then we started pointing out that the rebate is actually less than the cost, and suddenly those cards have all disappeared, and you're not waving them around quite as much as you used to. You stated, Minister, you stated that wasn't a question.
Okay, we need a break. We need, like in wrestling, you sort of everyone goes to their corner. So I've stopped the clock. I don't know where we're at now because I don't know. It's a chicken and egg thing. Is the question come first or the answer? So go ahead, Mr. Scheer, and let's try to not all speak at the same time. Go ahead.
So the minister stated a falsehood a few moments ago when answering my colleague. He said that the Liberal government under this Prime Minister had never promised that the carbon tax wouldn't go up. That is false. In 2019, your predecessor, Catherine McKenna, promised. She stated that the carbon tax would not go up beyond $50 a ton. Can you tell...
Nous avons eu une élection générale en 2024.
We had a general election.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We're here to talk to the Minister about the estimates, and I was just curious if carbon pricing is in the estimates. Is this relevant?
I mean, is it relevant? Pricing is an important economic and environmental issue, and no doubt impacts government decisions that are reflected in the estimates. But I would like to, I think it would be good to give the minister a chance to answer something.
I wasn't, on a point of order, I wasn't asking a question, I was stating a fact.
Yeah, okay.
So there's really nothing for the minister to respond unless he wants to reflect on why he stated a falsehood, but he doesn't need to do that right yet.
Okay.
Take that out of my time.
I
do have a question, though.
Go ahead, but you're running out of time.
Well, I hope these points of order haven't come off the time. Can you promise Canadians today that the carbon tax will not go up beyond $170 a ton? Can you make that commitment?
Comme je l'ai rappelé plus tôt, ce n'est pas...
As I reminded you earlier, it's not a tax, and the Supreme Court was very clear. It's a royalty system. Either you agree with the Supreme Court or you don't. I didn't hear your party refer to
A ton. Can you make that promise that it will not go higher than $170 a ton?
L'engagement que nous avons pris, c'est...
The commitment we made was to increase it to $170 a ton. We didn't make any commitment.
On n'a pas pris d'engagement dans un sens ou dans l'autre.
OK, c'est le temps maintenant de passer à M. Long.
Okay, it's time to go to Mr. Longfield.